I've been watching some excellent Australian comedy recently, and one of my viewers recommended some more Australian comedy. This is from a TV show called Frontal. Now, I hadn't heard of this show, so I googled it. It looks like it's a sketch show that was on Australian TV in the mid-90s, so tell me if you remember it, tell me what you think about it, tell me if you've got any favourite sketches from the show. But this one was interesting to me. It's called Storytime with Poida, but it's because it stars Eric Bana. Now, Eric Bana is, of course, an excellent actor. I first seen him in the movie Chopper years and years ago when I was a young guy. I loved that movie. It's just mental. Tell me if you've seen that and what you think about it. But he's also one of my favourite movies, a movie called Hannah. It's about this little girl who is an assassin. He's a father in it. You need to check that out. It's got an amazing soundtrack as well. But Eric Bana in a comedy show, I can't wait to see this. Tell me what you think about this one.
Gather round, kiddies. It's story time with Peter.
Wow. Already, the can of beer, the cigarette, the mullet and the esky. Could this be any more Australian or stereotypically Australian? But in this posh setting, this looks interesting. The mannerisms as well.
G'day kids, today I'm going to be reading to you from this top little book, right? It's a great little novel, and it's called Snow White and the Seven Little Dwarfies. Here we go. Once upon a time, there was a beautiful young princess who lived in a beautiful castle. It's sort of a beautiful lake full of beautiful fish. It's pretty boring, isn't it? I've got a better one for you. Once upon a time, like last week, there was this chick, right, who was a real spunk, and her name was Cheryl White, right? But all the blokes called her Snow White, because whenever they asked her out, she'd say, Snow White. Classic. Snow White looked like this. Bit of a spunk, eh? Pretty flexible too, I'll give you the tale. So anyway, Snow White lived in a one-bedroom flat with her cousins, the Seven Little Bogans. There was Lazy, Dribbly, Dopehead, Prof, because he finished year 9, Basher and Kev. And they all worked down at Luna Park on the Dodgems, right? And they all reckon Snow White was a top bird. And she liked them so much, she used to make them biscotti on toast every night. Everyone loved Snow White except the wicked old dragon, who worked in the fish and chip shop and lived in the flat next door. She hated Snow White so much, she would only give her 80 cents worth of chips when Snow White really ordered $1.50's worth. Every day she would look down into the chip aisle and say, mirror, mirror in the flat, who's the spunkiest chick in the block of flats?
Oh man, I've got to say, I've got a 3-year-old kid. I would love him to read bedtime stories to my kid, man. This is what it's all about. The accent, the way he describes, pronounces the words, the actions. This is fantastic stuff, man. I never seen anything like this from Eric Bana, but I'm enjoying it a lot.
And the chip fat would say, not you, you ugly cow. Snow White's grouse, and you're shaped like the side of a house. This made the old dragon mad. Chucked a spaz, right? And when Snow White dropped in for her usual Passiona, minimum chips and Chico roll, the dragon offered her a free dimmy. But it was poisoned, right? And on her way home, Snow White collapsed. Right out the front of her social security. Lucky for her, though, we'll get her case manager, who was a dead set spunk, and who happened to be called Poida, was on his way to the pub for lunch. He saw Snow White in the doorway and thought, gee, she's a bit of a spunk. I reckon she'd be my perfect girl if she didn't have that poison dimmy stuck in her throat. So over he went and gave her a pat on the back, and the dimmy went, choo, flying out, right? Snow White was so grateful, they had a bit of a pash. Which was a bit alright, I reckon. Anyway, they liked each other so much, they decided to form a de facto relationship and live together in the flat. Unfortunately, right, Poida discovered that the Seven Little Bogans were collecting the dole as well as working. So, he kicked them off the dole and out of the flat. Here we go. Yeah.
7 bogans collecting the dole while working.
And they all got the sack from their jobs at the Dodgems. Bummer. Ah, well, can't help bad luck, I suppose. Anyway, that's all for today. Well, let's finish on a song. Hi-ho, hi-ho, it's off the dole we go.
Oh, brilliant stuff, man. In front of a live studio audience as well, man. That was just brilliant comedy. Like, that's the sort of comedy, although this is from a long time ago, maybe 20, 30 years ago, it would still be good today, man. It's like playing on those like working class stereotypes, the 7 little bogans who collected dough while still working. This is the comedy that not only would this be, I can see this being successful as it probably was in Australia, but this is the same as we love in the UK, man. This working class comedy. And Eric Bana, this guy who's like a superstar actor, serious actor, brilliant comedy actor as well, man. Like the movements and mannerisms, the way he was speaking. That's brilliant. I need to watch more from him. Recommend some more comedy from Eric Bana if there is any. And tell me more about Full Frontal and what you think about this one. Thanks.